Guys, portfolio management is very, very important because there are a lot of jobs which are there in portfolio management. Portfolio management basically means if I have, if my client has 1 lakh or my client has 10,000 rupees of savings or he has 1 crore rupees of savings, how I diversify his funds, correct? I need to diversify it in a way that probably everyone's talking about Bitcoin right now, correct? But if the savings are 1 lakh, I don't want to bet Bitcoin by putting the entire 1 lakh in Bitcoin, right? I do want to diversify funds. I want to put a little bit in real estate. I want to put a little bit in equity shares. Which equity shares? That you have to decide. And you can put a little bit of Bitcoin. You can put in a gold. You can put in. Some people invest in paintings, correct? People invest in real estate. People invest in bungalows, in resorts. So that's how the way you divide the funds you learn in portfolio management. Okay. Related to portfolio management, the next four: fixed income, derivatives, equity, and alternative investments. These are very, very important because this is part of portfolio management itself. Okay. Fixed income is basically return bonds and fixed deposits, which give you a fixed amount of interest on your investments. Okay. On the other hand, equity is very different. I'm sure you already learned about equity shares and preference shares. Correct. So equity is your basically equity shares, but how to analyze equity? Correct. How to analyze which share should I invest in? How to look at the background of a company? How to analyze the future what will happen in the company? You will learn in equity. Coming to derivatives is basically, I think people in BFA must have learned a little bit about derivatives, your options, your futures, your forwards, and the difference between derivatives and betting is also very, very crucial. I'm sure if you all have seen the movie Big Shot, you must have learned a lot about derivatives. Okay, coming to alternative investments. Alternative investments is, so everyone thinks about investments as equity right now, correct? Anything besides your normal investment, such as I mentioned, investment in paintings, correct? If I have a painting, if I purchase a painting, the last painting of MS Hussain, okay, if I buy it right now, and if my grandchild sells it, okay, it can sell for $1 million. So analyzing which sector to invest in is very important, and the ones which are not normal besides equity and your normal investments is called as alternative investments. So you learn in deep as to which departments are there for alternative investments and how to analyze them and what will their future value be. Coming to corporate finance, so corporate finance is very different from portfolio management. Corporate finance is how you is more about funding, how you source the funds. If I am a company, you have to advise the company whether they should issue equity shares or should they take a loan or should they issue debentures. So that comes in corporate finance. The way the sources of funds for a company is known as corporate finance, and allocation of funds also. How much budget should I make? Should I give a higher budget for the sales team or a higher budget for the operations team? That's all covered up in corporate finance. Okay, Marian, can you just go to the next slide?
Sure.
Okay, so guys, remember one thing: those subjects were the subjects of level one. Okay, when you go to, so you can see the weightage also. As I mentioned, ethics from 100 marks is 15. It's the second highest weightage. Okay, and everyone takes ethics very, very, very relaxed. They're like, okay, we'll do. हम लोग last दिन पे पढ़ लेंगे ethics. Okay, please do not do that in ethics. Please take it seriously. That's why I said ethics is the difference between you passing a paper and failing a paper sometimes because of the weightage. Okay, as you can see, most of the subjects remain the same for level one and level two is exactly the same. But when it comes to level three, okay, level three, look at the last line, which is portfolio management. You start with 7 marks, but portfolio management is the most important subject because portfolio management is directly related to investment banking, as I just explained, advising your clients on how to invest your funds, how to allocate your funds. So that's why it goes up to the weightage goes to 40 to 55 marks in your level three exam. So it's very important you get the base right in level one, you move on to level two, and then you learn all about portfolio management in level three. As far as level three is concerned, you will not have corporate finance, you will not have financial accounting, FRA, and you will not have cons. A lot of weightage has gone to portfolio management. Yeah. Yeah, maybe you can change the slide.
So moving forward, we'll be talking about how Zell helps you to prepare for your CFA exams. And Yes, as I said, being in your SYTY, we cater to a lot of college students just like you. And for you guys, especially, we have our batches which are planned on the weekends. Okay, so for all the students who feel, how do I do it along with my college, other commitments, how do you plan it? We have designated student mentors who can help you plan the schedule for you in a way that you can, in the ideal time period, finish preparing and studying for your CFA. So at Zell, we conduct our classes through live interactive sessions, which are conducted online, considering the pandemic. Even without the pandemic, Zell caters to students pan India and globally. Okay, so if you are anywhere else, also like right now, we cater to students from Dubai, Singapore, Australia, Canada. So even for you guys, if future you want to move abroad and then start studying, still will be okay. If you want to start from here, that will also be fine. But the major part is interacting with our experts and learning with them, because it is very important to learn from the experts who are already in the industry, practically experiencing the whole understanding of what they've got through CFA. So they'll help you with live examples, Indian brand examples, which will help you guys to relate much better and understand your concept. Okay. We also help you with placement assistance after you finish your certain level, because in the industry, they would require you to have basic understanding of financing. And that's what level one gives you. Level one forms your foundation for finance. What you're studying right now in your degree colleges is really shallow. When you learn CFA as a course, it's a niche core finance related, qualification, which will give you a much in-depth understanding about, a lot of terminologies which we haven't heard of. So that's what level one does for you. It builds your foundation, after which you can start interning or working as at an entry point designations as financial analyst, risk analyst, and a lot more that Sam will be explaining you guys moving forward. We also have a brilliant learning management system, which we've created specially for our students considering the exam approach. Now, these international qualification is not like our, normal studies, which is on pen and paper. These exam approach are completely online. The approach of learning is more practical. It's not, learning things by heart and writing answers. It's more of understanding concepts, taking examples into consideration and writing your own answers online. Okay. So the learning management system has been created in a way which gives you literal exam replication. It's like, how TY boards लिखने के पहले हम prelims लिखते हैं, right? So at Zell, every mock that you write with us while you're learning your level 1, level 2, level 3, you will have the exact exam replication, because we know that it's difficult for us to write exams online, right? And that's why day one say we make you guys practice and learn through our learning management system. We have dedicated study plans which are created for our students based on your schedule. So we know we cater to college students in majority. Then we also have working professionals. So we have to plan, their studying. How would they do it along with other things? So we help you guys with that as well. There are batches on weekdays also, especially for students who would want to, as I said, level one is basic. It builds your foundation. Uske baad, on the knowledge that you've got for level one, you build your level 2 and level 3. And that's why it's crucial. So we also have batches on the weekday, which would be in the evening. Okay, so you can study 4 days with us, and जो पढ़ाई आपकी होगी, that will be in class with our faculty. Okay, or if you feel weekdays will become busy, you can go for only weekend batches also. Yes. So as Sam mentioned, there are 10 subjects in CFA which remains constant in all 3 levels. And that's why it's important from level 1 itself to have thorough understanding of concepts. Okay, आप ऐसा नहीं बोल सकते मुझे ethics नहीं पसंद है, मैं नहीं पढ़ूंगा, and you will not be able to do it. Every subject has to be learned in a way that it's clear and all the concepts are in your mind, and that's when you'll be able to create your answers for level 2, level 3. Level 1 is more of basic. Level 2 will be more of application based. And then level 3 would be based on portfolio management, where you write your answers in the case study format. So all that training will be given to you from day one, which will help you clear your exam in much simple way. We also have recordings for classes if you've missed. Of course, we understand there are a lot of other things. Something comes up because of which you're not able to attend. So the recording access will be given to you. You can watch it n number of times, revise through that. We have doubt solving where our faculties would be helping you. during the week or on the weekends whenever you need to solve your doubts. One which you pay to Zell Education for the training, the assistance that we provide, and one which goes to the CFA body. Okay. Now, when you have to start with CFA, as I said, you need to register with the body, and the registration process has three windows. So there's an early bird, there's a standard, and there's a late fee, which is for examination. Okay. And that has to be planned 8 to 9 months prior to you writing your exam. So today, let's say someone says, I want to start learning CFA with Zell. So we have student mentors, we have counselors who will plan for you. Okay, ideally you will take 6 to 7 months to study. आपको मॉक्स देने होंगे, पढ़ाई करनी होगी, and then you can take the February attempt or you can take the May attempt. So CFA exams happen 4 times in a year, and based on when you start, we'll tell you which is the best suitable attempt for you to write. Now, when you are booking your exam, there is a one-time registration fees of $450, which has to be paid to the institute. Okay, so $450 approximately comes between 30 to 35,000, and this is valid for 10 years. So once you register with them, you can write your all 3 levels in that time span, and you don't have to pay the registration fees again. So that's a one-time fee of $450. Then there's something called as exam. I mentioned there's early bird, standard, and late fee. Now these 3 timelines are given by the CFA body. Okay, and based on which attempt you want to write and how you're going to study, we plan it for you. But of course, the ideal plan is to book at an early bird. Early bird में आपको $700 का exam fee cost आता है. $700 is approximately 50,000 rupees. Okay, if you go for standard, matlab for students, so we already late. Early bird ka deadline has been closed, but they still want to go for February attempt. They'll have to pay the standard fee. Standard fee is $1,000. Okay, and then there's a late fee which is around $1,300, but that a lot of students don't opt for. As I said, ideal period is early bird mein book it so that you get it at a discounted rate. Okay, and what you pay to Zell is the fee of 35,000 for your training for level 1, which will include all of the things that are mentioned below. The live classes, the recordings, the LMS access, the mocks and tests which we'll be giving you. At Zell, we've created our own study material which is curated by our own faculties who are industry experts. Okay, so we've used Indian examples to help you to help the concepts make much easy and so that it remains in your mind. We also have on our LMS, we've created flowcharts, mind maps, all those things which you do with your highlight in a book, using a highlighter in a book. We've created that on our application, which will make the learning process more easy for you. So now I'll let Sam take over the slide.
Okay, guys, obviously it's a very, very important question. Everyone does want to pursue CFA, but the main question is that will I get a job? Are there jobs in the market currently? At what level should I start doing my job? Should I start doing after level 1? Should I do it before level 1? Should I start after level 2? So guys, another big question is that will I get a job in the Big Four? Will I get a job in a company like JP Morgan or Morgan Stanley or something like that? So it is very, very important. It's crucial that you guys have to decide which department you want to enter. Okay, like EY itself, the Big Four, they have 20 to 25 different departments. Okay, it is very important for you to understand that, okay, this is what I like and this is what I want to pursue, and then I will start working on it. Okay, so I'll just give you a brief about the various profiles you have. Number 1 is investment banking, right, which is portfolio management. As I mentioned, that investment banking is portfolio management, as in when someone comes to you with a savings of 1 lakh per month, sometimes 1 lakh per year, distribute the funds, how they can diversify the funds, making sure that the risk is less sometimes, risk is high sometimes, and making sure that that they get the perfect profile. That is called investment banking. If you want to make a career in investment banking, I think investment banking is something which is very difficult to enter, okay, but not impossible at the same time. When you're thinking about investment banking, you have to start small. It is very difficult to get into a JP Morgan initially with zero experience. So the moment you clear level 1, there are a lot of boutique firms in India who keep hiring CFA level 1 pass outs. Okay, it is these, and they are Probably their turnover is less, their clients are small, but that exposure which you get is very important. So they might not pay you at a JP Morgan or a Morgan Stanley level. I mean, if you had two options where you have an EY who's paying you probably 50,000 rupees per month, and on the other hand, you get a small boutique firm who's probably paying you 20,000 rupees per month. But EY, you're getting a job like, I don't know, probably stat audit or legal or something like that, which is not your forte. It is not what you want to invest your time in. I would rather take the 20,000 rupees job in the boutique firm, clear my CFA, finish level one, finish level two, finish level three, and then I have that, I have cleared my CFA, and at the same time, I have my investment banking experience, so I can get into an EY, I can get into a Morgan Stanley tomorrow, and I can get a really, really good job. It's the amount of time and effort you invest right now, which is very important. So it's very another department which people do not consider is venture capitalists. Venture capitalists is basically people who provide funds to startups, right? We have so many startups. Everyone must have heard of Zomato, Byju's. You have even Uber was a startup once upon a time. So whenever a company starts growing, whenever their revenue clicks around 50 crore, 100 crore, a lot of venture capitalists provide funds to these companies, correct? So you have Secure Capital, you have Artha Venture Fund, you have Excel Venture Fund. These guys provide funds to people. So they need a lot of people at the ground level, at the lower level also advising them whether they should invest in this company or not. Okay, because investing in the companies, I mean, the amount they invest sometimes 100, 200 crores also. So it is very important. So you get internships in these companies, you get analysts, you get jobs at analyst position in these companies. Take it. I'm telling you, venture capitalist is the next big thing right now, but people do not consider. Now coming to your basic corporate finance. Corporate finance is advising a company as to the sources of funds. Should we take equity? Should we, if we need money, should we go for equity? Should we go for debenture? Should we go for loans? That's it's very important decision. And another department in corporate finance is utilization of funds. When you're creating a budget, correct? How should I distribute the funds? That's your hardcore corporate finance. Okay. There are a lot of people who are done doing CFA and getting into audit also. Okay, because that's the first thing they get. But don't keep that attitude. What I would advise you is turn first do level one. Okay, once you do level one, you'll get a very good idea about the various departments you can enter. You'll learn about portfolio management much more in detail. I just give you introduction, a 5 minute introduction about investment banking, right? But when you learn portfolio management in depth, you'll come to know what exactly it is, and then you can make the decision on whether I should enter investment banking or not. So please keep be composed initially, learn the subjects, understand which department you want to enter. Once you decide, then you should go all out. Okay, and all these companies which I mentioned. Okay, we have corporate exposure over here. We have placement opportunities which coming up, and whenever a student, I think. The moment you clear your level one, if we have various opportunities in these banks or investment companies, we share your CVs, we help you prepare for the interview based on the job description which is there. Correct? We have to train you based on the job which you're applying for. If a person comes to me and tells me that I want to prepare for interview for investment banking, it is very different from someone who's going to go into corporate finance. At the same time, it is very important the way you write your CV also. Correct? Depending on the job description, it is very important to prepare your CV and invest time in preparing for the interview. And we at Zell Education provide you that guidance. We help you shape your career sometimes because some people come here and they're very confused. So I want to do investment banking and I want to do corporate finance at the same time. Correct. So our faculty, our group of faculty is people who have worked in corporate finance and investment banking. So they'll give you a better idea on where do you see yourself 5 years down the line or 10 years down the line. So they can guide you and then you can make much, much better decisions. Okay. I think that was it. I think, Marian, we can start the questions.
Yeah. So in case any of y'all would want to reach out separately later to understand the process, registration process, anything else, do reach out to me on this number. And yes, I think now we can start with the questions.
Okay. So I'm just going up a little bit. Sumit had asked, can we do this course along with MCOM? Definitely, Sumit, you need to finish graduation. So once you're finished graduation, you can start giving your CFA level one. You will have a few topics which are recurring in which you can reconcile with your MCOM portion also. Not a lot, but a few topics. So yeah, definitely you can do it.
Janil asked, can a second year student do the course?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Janil, second year student can ideally start preparing for it because that's the ideal period where you should start. And you can even look at registering yourself, but you will only be able to write your exam once you enter your third year. Okay. So you can start preparing. Registration booking also we can go ahead once we plan on which attempt.
How to prepare for exams?
So exam preparation will be taken care by us. Okay, so let's say now you feel that you're ready to start preparing. So you can reach out to me and I'll have my team show you the steps moving forward as to how you can start. So it takes around 6 to 7 months to prepare with Zell. Okay. So we are just starting a batch in July, which is by 25th of July tentatively. And once you start, then it's a 6 to 7 months duration of classes that will be taken, okay, which will be over the weekends, where you'll have intensive training, learning with our faculties, 10 subjects one by one. As I mentioned, we'll be creating a study plan for you as to how you can, study at home, kitna hours dena chahiye, kaun se subject mein aapko zyada time lagega, kisme kam lagega, based on your strengths and weaknesses. And accordingly, then we plan, okay, once you enter your third year, this is the ideal attempt for you. So tab jaake aap attempt likh sakte hain.
How much is the fees for this course?
So overall, for all the 3 levels, it's around 3 lakhs. But if you ask me for level 1, ideally it should be around ₹1 lakh. 80,000 आपका institute का fees होता है, and around 35,000 is your Zell fees.
Can you WhatsApp me all the details?
Sure. So if you can just take this 555 number and just send me a hi with your name on it, I'll have, along with your email ID, I'll have the details sent to you. Okay?
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay. Josh is asking, do you only get US-based companies after CFA? No, Josh. CFA is a universal degree. I know it's a US people set the exam, but the degree is valid anywhere in the world, India, Japan, Dubai, wherever you go. And a lot of Indian boutique companies, the small companies in investment banking and corporate finance do employ CFA as well. Man is asking, sir, can company secretary can do CFA? Yes, definitely you can do CFA. Not a lot of recurring subjects, but still, I mean, if you want to go for it, definitely. Can we pursue CFA in abroad without work experience after the third year? Yes, definitely. CFA exams can be given anywhere in the world. We have a lot of students also which have come from various countries, from Europe and Asia, who apply for CFA and they take the coaching online.
So I had someone ask, Mansi was asking that second year students can also write the exam. So Mansi, while you're in your second year, you can book your exam, but you will only be able to write the exam once you enter your third year. Like that's the eligibility that they have. So second year, ideally, as I said, you can start preparing, and then we can usually discuss when you want to book, and accordingly then plan for your level 1 attempt.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
So actually I entered this session a bit late. So can I get the recording?
Sure. We'll be sending the recording to you guys. Yes, do not worry. Along with the deck, we'll also be sharing the recording and
on the group as sir.
So that we'll either email it to you guys or we can send it to whoever is the point of contact here, Sneh or anyone, and they can circulate it within the class.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem.
Okay, moving forward, Ansh is asking how much time will it take to complete CFA? Ansh, it depends upon you. It depends on how serious people take their career. Some people are a bit laid back. They want to go very slowly, but some people are really pumped up. They want to clear levels as fast as possible. Just one thing I'll tell you, Ansh, is that the CFA Institute has made massive changes during the year. Initially, it was only 2 attempts for CFA level 1 and 1 attempt each for level 2 and level 3. Now it has changed totally. For level 1, it's a quarterly exam. You can give 4 times a year. And for level 2 and level 3, you can give it twice a year. So obviously you can, it just makes it much more faster for the students to complete CFA compared to the previous years. Yeah.
Is this course benefit to SY students?
Generally, I didn't understand your question.
Is this course benefit for SY students?
SY students?
Yes,
Sam, go ahead.
So generally, it's all upon you, correct? It's the faster you make a decision about your career, the head start you get, correct? I mean, if you're thinking about doing it after TY, then at that time. So what I would advise is after TY, you're generally looking for a job, correct? But when you start giving CFA, if you're thinking about SY, you can start studying in SY. You can give the exam in TY. So if you give the exam in TY, once you clear your TY BAF or BFM or BCom, whatever you're done with, you're just on. You just have a little bit more power compared to someone else because your CV is much more stronger, correct? Your CV says SY, your CV says BFM plus a CFA level one,
Level
which
one.
is which holds a lot of, you can put in your LinkedIn ID, you can put it in your CV, and then people consider, and the employer also considers it, right? He's like, okay, the student has
Okay.
taken that much effort, and that's why you can take a head start. But there's no hard and fast rule that you have to start CFA when you're on SY or TY. People started when they're 30 also. So it all depends from people to people. But if you want to get that head start initially in your career, then obviously you should think about it and start studying in SY itself.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Shruti is asking what jobs can be done in financial reporting and analysis. So in financial reporting and analysis is most about when doing financial reporting analysis, they analyze the balance sheet, they analyze the income statement, they calculate ratios, and based on that, you can make decisions as to whether I should invest in this company or not invest in this company. Correct? So those are very, very important decisions. Besides that, they do a lot of study in their own company. For example, there's a financial enforces or something. You look at the balance sheets, you look at where the major expenditure is going. Can I reduce that expenditure? How much changes made in sale because of some new concept which I've got, some new strategy which they're trying. So they need to analyze a lot of things which are related to numbers, correct? So they create KPIs, they create CSFs, and they calculate various ratios and analyze the progress of a company, and they try to predict the future of the company at the same time. Okay. Does FRM and CFA have the same have some topics similar? Yeah, some topics are definitely similar in FRM and CFA. Okay. How much time will it take? I think I answered that question. Other than CFA, do you provide CFP course guidance? Yeah, we do provide guidance for CFP, but you'll have to. This is not a CFP webinar, so I won't go deep in it. You can give a call to Marine on this number, and we can.
What is the passing mark for the exam?
First. Okay.
Sam, we
So,
lost you.
hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Manav is asking if we want to do FRM and CFA both, which course we should do first. Okay. So understand one thing that FRM is a cherry on the cake, correct? It is not something which is very, very important. It's not that crucial as CFA. CFA is a degree which holds a lot of power. It puts a lot of weight on your CV compared to an FRM course. If you notice, the people doing FRM are people who have already completed their CA, or they've done their CFA, or they've done the ACCA. So they have one really strong certificate, and then they try to add on based on their career path. So if they want to get into FRM, then they start pursuing FRM itself. Initially, no one pursues FRM that quickly. Okay. Okay. For July match,
combo is nice.
yeah, obviously it's nice, but it depends if you want to enter the industry, right? So, who am I talking to? I'm sorry, I forgot. Just 1 minute. Huh?
No, Manav.
Manav, yeah, Manav. So, Manav, when you get into, so once you start CFA, you get into risk management or something like that, correct? And then at that same time, you want to add a bit, then suppose you are par with a CA or a CFA, correct? And then you want an additional advantage over there when you're applying for a new job or something like that, then you can get your FRM degree. But first, get into corporate, because if you're doing CFA, okay, as a whole, and you get into, let's say you get into investment banking, then your FRM degree doesn't hold any value. So CFA is very vast like that, but FRM is very limited. So if you get into the exact department which is related to FRM and then you do it, then you'll understand. And the moment you enter the department, everyone will be doing FRM at the same time, so you will complete it with them itself.
So first we have to complete CFA, then we can do
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
FRM.
you can do it without it also, but CFA puts a lot of weight on your CV, which helps you enter the various departments, and then you can look out for a FRM degree as well. Okay. Jashil is asking that for July batch, when is the last date of registration with Zell? Marine, can you answer that?
Yeah, so the registrations are ongoing right now till the end of this month. We actually have limited number of batches and the batch size. So what you can do is reach out to me on this number. I'll connect you to our admission counselors and they'll take you ahead with the process.
Perfect. Just 1 minute. Yeah, Man is asking after completed secretary, can we do CFA? Definitely you can. But Man, just remember one thing in CFA, you don't get any exemptions. That whether you're a CA, ACCA, it's not like your level one will be exempted if you're completing company secretary. You can definitely go ahead and do it after that. Now, Nihar is asking, do hedge funds hire CFAs? Yes, they do. And a lot of hedge fund jobs, such as calculation of NAV of hedge funds, has been transferred to India from America. Okay, a lot of jobs in companies such as Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, you have your BlackRock, they have outsourced a lot of jobs to India, and Mumbai and Bangalore are becoming the financial hubs for the American market. You know how IT work was transferred, all the IT work was transferred from America to Bangalore. Similarly, all the financial work related to hedge funds and various other funds have been transferred from America to India in the last 4 to 5 years. Could we take that work experience along with CFA and then go for MBA? Yeah, definitely. So, Krish, remember one thing in MBA, right now in India, the MBA system is very different. Okay. Currently in India, you can do an MBA after finish your graduation also, correct? You give your CET, you give your CAT, and you can do your MBA. Now, the proper way of doing an MBA is that when you have 4 to 5 years of experience, when you have a manager level job, and you have a team of say 5 to 10 people under you, that's when you do an MBA. Because when you do an MBA, you should be able to control a team of 50 tomorrow. Okay, you should be at that level that once you finish your MBA, you get a job and you have a team of 50 and you're instructing people. But in India, it's changed a little bit. People are just trying to do an MBA as fast as possible. So if you're doing an MBA after CFA, it is very important that you have CFA on you'll have a bachelor's degree, you have CFA, and you should have 3 to 4 years of experience, and then you can make your profile very strong, and then you can apply for a very good college. Okay, then you can try for your IIMs and you can try for Harvard and Yale also.
So, Sam, we have a question here from Ishan. Can he take CFA along with MBA in finance?
Yeah, definitely. So when you're doing MBA in finance, obviously it depends on which college also you're doing it. And if you're doing MBA in finance, the biggest advantage is that CFA syllabus is very similar to MBA in finance also. You learn about hedge funds, you learn about derivative market, you learn about portfolio management, a little bit of accounts, a little bit of ethics. So he can do it and he can cope with it very easily because of the similarity in subjects. Okay. And does it give him an edge? Yeah, a little bit, because when he's completing an MBA, let's say a finance company comes to recruit him, obviously he has a little bit of CFA knowledge as well as the MBA knowledge, and he has 2 certificates by that time.
Right.
Just asking, I heard that you mostly get US based companies. Is that true? I think you answered the question, but it got disconnected. Okay, so Shubham, just one minute, that's not Shubham, that was Jash. Jash, that's not true that only US based companies. Okay, when you're talking about US based companies, I think you're referring to your Morgan Stanley and your JP Morgan. But there are a lot of CFAs working in boutique investment banking, in boutique venture capitalist companies, and they're doing really well. Okay. And guys, always remember one thing that everyone thinks about US based. It's a US based course, but it's given worldwide. You can give it in Japan, you can give it in Russia, you can give it in Dubai, you can give it wherever you want. Okay. And there are jobs related to the moment you enter that profile. CFA is the most valued course at that time, and you can get into any company. And guys, I just forgot to tell you all this, that your ultimate goal, if you want to get into investment banking or funding, that 5 to 10 years down the line, if you're looking, I just gave you all an initial goal of 3 to 4 years, but 5 to 10 years down the line, if you get into investment banking, you can start your own company also. Because that's where your rewards start pulling it, right? When you have your own company, when you have your own startup, when you're advising people and you're the owner, that has a different feeling. So obviously try to aim for that. Try to get as much experience you can from these companies, and then try to start something of your own. And then you can hire CFAs also after that.
Right.
Okay. Shubham, sir, ma'am, what are your qualifications and can you share some experience? So Shubham, I've done my ACCA. I've worked in companies such as Jet Airways, Milvani Associates, and BDO. Currently, I've worked in SAP implementation also, which is implementation of international financial reporting standards for various companies. And currently, I'm working as a product manager and faculty at Zell Education. Yeah, guys, do you all have any other questions?
Yeah, I think Janelle has some questions.
Hello.
Yes, Janal, tell
Yeah,
us.
My
Jen.
cousin, my cousin sister has completed BBI and she is confused about
Janal, we lost you because of the connection issue.
to do a job in public or private sector. So
Oh, Jen, I can't
she
hear you
is has
clearly.
completed
Can you?
BBI and type.
Yeah, Jen, I can hear you now. Can you please repeat your question?
My cousin sister has completed BBI and
Okay.
she
Mm-hmm.
is confused to do public or private sector. BBI she has completed already
Okay.
and she is
Correct.
confused. And she is confused. So what to
Should
do?
work
Okay.
in a
Public or
private
private?
company or a public company.
Yeah, yeah. So she is confused.
Okay. As far as that is concerned, obviously the private companies pay much better. I mean, their hierarchy is much better to climb. It's very easy to climb, and but obviously public sector has a different set of rewards. Correct? Not always
Rewards,
monetary
yeah.
rewards, but they get a lot of benefits for working in the public sector. But if you're talking about growth, the growth in the private sector is much better. The private sector, if you're talking about working hours, private sector is much more is much more strict on it. I mean, generally, you must be knowing that a lot of these companies, the big companies such as JP Morgan and all, they have really,
Yeah,
really long working hours, correct? And they make you work on the weekend also sometimes.
yeah.
You don't get a lot of that in the public sector. Public sector is more like a 9 to 5 job from Monday to Friday. Yeah, I think that her decision should be based on these main things itself. Like, is she willing? If she is determined to grow at a very fast rate, then obviously the private sector is for her. And if she's willing to take a relaxed sort of a job with benefits besides the monetary benefits, then obviously the public sector is something which she should target.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so guys, I've also shared my email ID and number in the chat. Feel free to reach out to us in case after the session something comes up, any doubt, and you want to connect with me or Sam. And I can also connect you to our admission counselors for process moving forward. And yeah, do let us know in case anything else.
Yeah. And thanks a lot, guys. We really appreciate it. You took out some time to learn about the about CFA in this webinar. I know it's a Thursday afternoon, but thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir and ma'am, for a great and interactive session. You both have taken out some time for us to give knowledge about the CFA. I would also like to thank Zell Education for providing us wonderful counselor with us. And also thank you to all participants to make this session interactive and successful. This could not have been possible without the sheer contribution of you all. I hope all your doubts and questions are being cleared. And lastly, I would also thank my whole team. Without them, I alone cannot make it happen. Thank you so much, guys, for your wonderful support. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, sir and
Yeah.
ma'am.
Sneh,
Bye.
before we
Thanks.
just end, I think Man has a question that after completing company secretary, can he go to level 2? So Man, as Sam already mentioned, in CFA there are no exemptions. Whatever you've pursued, you still start with level 1 only because you need to complete the basics. You will still have to start from level 1. Okay.
Okay. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank
Thanks,
you, guys.
Mary.
Thank you
Hello.
Thank
so
you,
much,
Thanks,
sir and
Sneh.
Sam.
ma'am.
Thank you,
Bye.
Ria.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, Jenny.
How much is the marks for the exams?
Okay, you're talking about marks exam. You have to clear. So it's a different system. Okay, I can't say that you have to get 15 marks or something like that. When you get your CFA result, okay, there'll be a line. There'll be a line where there'll be a passing rate. Okay, so it depends. So the CFA institute decides on first how many people they're going to pass. Okay, and based on that, there's a percentile system where they'll put a line. So you can either be above the line or below the line. Okay, so if you're in the top half, correct, so obviously you're passed, and if you're in the bottom half, you will have failed. So there's no, I can't tell you right now that you need to get 50%. I can't tell you you have to get 60% or 70%. It depends from paper to paper and the number of people appearing also. But it's become much more simpler right now because of the number of attempts. They shifted from 2 attempts to 4 attempts. So the number of people appearing per attempt has reduced. So that's why they can let go of more and more people per attempt. So Jen, what I can advise you is if you understand this concept, you can just go on Google and type CFA result and go to images, and you'll understand the entire result structure.
CFA result.
Yeah.
What did you say right now? Google.
No, you can go on Google and type the CFA result, and if you can
Okay.
see in images, they'll show you the entire CFA result, how it looks.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you
Thanks a
so
lot,
much,
Jaina.
guys. Yeah,
Thank you,
Bye.
sir.
Karan,
Thank you,
please
ma'am.
share the recording.
sure, we'll do that.
Yeah, yeah.
We
Yeah,
will
yeah.
send it across. Don't worry. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye-bye.